Because of his unusually strong personal needs, the CEO insisted on bringing his wife along on every business trip. Coincidentally, his wife was also his subordinate at the company. However, the secretary who had secretly admired the CEO for a long time had no idea about their relationship. She assumed the CEO was alone in his hotel room and used work as an excuse to force her way inside. When the CEO turned around, he realized his wife had already hidden herself. As he wondered where she could be, the secretary suddenly got far too close, attempting to cross professional boundaries. What she didn't know was that the wife was hiding under the desk and witnessed everything clearly. When the CEO bent down to pick up a pen, his wife quietly passed it to him, signaling him not to make a sound. She wanted to see what the secretary was really trying to do. Completely unaware, the secretary continued making inappropriate hints, believing no one else was present. Watching the secretary act overly familiar with her husband made the wife furious. She discreetly pinched him, causing the CEO to cry out in pain. The sudden reaction confused the secretary, who immediately used it as an excuse to suggest helping him lie down. The CEO angrily pushed her away and demanded she stop. The secretary became emotional, questioning whether she wasn't pretty, young, or charming enough. Hearing this made the wife deeply uncomfortable. The CEO firmly ordered the secretary to leave at once. Unfortunately, she misunderstood, thinking he was just embarrassed, and tried again. That was when the CEO completely lost his patience. Only then did the secretary realize he was serious and left in humiliation. Afterward, the CEO finally relaxed. His wife came out and praised him for keeping clear boundaries. The reason they hadn't made their relationship public was because they were in a contract marriage. Later, when she was feeling alone, he approached her and revealed that he was actually her senior from university. As they talked, they discovered they were both single. Having admired her quietly for years, he cautiously proposed a one-year contract marriage, and she agreed. What the woman never expected was that this man would later become the new CEO of her company. When they met again at work, she confronted him. He tried to brush it off with excuses, but she didn't believe him. Strong-willed and determined not to let others think she was favored, she demanded that their marriage remain secret. That was why the earlier business trip incident happened. The next day during a meeting, employees noticed marks on the CEO's neck and began whispering about who had managed to win over the famously disciplined CEO. During lunch, everyone assumed it was the secretary, since she was the only one who had traveled with him. Enjoying the attention, the secretary shamelessly went along with the rumor. Soon, coworkers began calling her Madam CEO. At that moment, the woman walked over and calmly asked if the secretary was certain about that claim. The secretary mocked her in return. The woman replied coolly and walked away, which only fueled the secretary's resentment. Out of spite, the secretary deliberately hid an important set of design plans the woman had worked on for an entire week. With the client presentation scheduled for the next day, the woman panicked, knowing there was no time to redo everything. She then received a video showing someone throwing the plans into a trash bin. She rushed downstairs to search for them, unaware that the secretary was upstairs watching smugly. Due to the extreme heat and stress, the woman soon felt unwell and collapsed. Another executive who secretly cared for her rushed her to the hospital. Fortunately, the doctor said it was only mild exhaustion and advised rest. When the CEO learned about this, he immediately rushed over. However, when he arrived, he saw the woman being brought back by another man, which made him extremely jealous. That night, misunderstandings grew, tempers flared, and the couple argued. The next day at the product presentation, the secretary waited eagerly to see the woman embarrass herself without the designs. To everyone's shock, when the woman opened her laptop, a complete and flawless design appeared. The proposal was immediately approved by the client. It turned out the CEO had stayed up all night recreating the entire project, completely ruining the secretary's plan. To celebrate the cooperation, a joint banquet was held. At the event, co-workers crowded around the secretary, eager to please who they believed was the CEO's wife. She basked in the attention until the real wife appeared in an elegant custom gown, instantly stunning everyone and stealing the spotlight. Angry and humiliated, the secretary accused her of disrespecting the event. Others joined in, trying to please the secretary by demanding the woman leave. The woman calmly stated that even if the secretary truly were the CEO's wife, she had no right to drive out someone who had secured such a major contract, especially since she wasn't the CEO's wife at all. When the secretary tried to block her, another executive stepped in, declaring the woman was his guest for the evening, and escorted her inside. Still unwilling to give up, the secretary attempted to cause more trouble but failed and was publicly exposed. In the end, the woman firmly shut down the secretary's illusions, reminding her not to chase unrealistic dreams of status and power.